Hello everyone, my name is Ricardo Illingworth and today I'll be doing my presentation on my family indigenous roots. What is going to be covered in this presentation, you might ask? In this presentation, I'll cover my findings of both my mother and father's indigenous Mexican tribes. I will also be going over those tribes' ways of life and where they are located, what happened to them during colonialism, then what became of their descendants today. Now I'll be going over the native tribes of Nayarit that my mother was born in. The native tribes of Nayarit. One of the earliest settlers in Nayarit was the Kora, who appeared around 400 AD, and the height of their civilization was at 100 to 1200 AD. Their means of living consisted of the agriculture, which included cultivated beans, corn, and amaranth. As time went on, other tribes migrated to the area, such as the Tepehueno, Totorano, and Huichilo, in the 9th and 12th century. Now I'll be going over the Spanish invasion. In the year 1528, Nueno Patron de Gomez invaded Nayarit. Hold on, I don't know why it does that. Let's see. Sorry about this. Let's see. Go back to where I was. Sorry about that. Okay. Who invaded, okay. In the year 1528, Noen Bertrand de Gomez invaded Nayarit and was known for his ruthless overthrowing of the indigenous. He made a settlement called Espetria Santo on the ruins of the indigenous city of Tepic. Later, Bertrand was named governor of the province by the Spanish crown. In 1536, Gomez was replaced by Diego Perez de la Torre, but his rule as governor was 2 years since he was killed during an indigenous revolt in 1538. And by the 17th century, the Roman Catholic Church tried to convert the Cora, but they continued to rebel until 1722 when they had been completely conquered by the Spanish. Now I'll be going over Nayarit's descendants today. Present-day Nayarit. Today, the people of Nayarit are still known for their agriculture, mainly in tobacco and blue agave, which is used for making tequila. They are also visited by tourists frequently because of their large, beautiful coastline and just like very fertile land. However, implementations of colorism is still around. I know this because members of my family are lighter skinned and have a lot of influence and money from the tequila factory they owned. And a lot of times, my mother would tell me about her knowing a lot of the people that run the city, especially the mayor when she was living there. And then those who are of darker tones are often just making their income by doing a lot of the labor, like collecting the agave and working in the tequila factories. Now I'll go over my father's native tribe, which he's told me quite a bit about, the Yaqui tribe. The Yaqui tribe originated in southern Sonora on the west coast of Mexico. They were known for growing crops such as squash, corn, beans. They were also proficient in hunting deer and rabbits. They also speak a language called Cajite, which comes from the Uto Aztecan language family, which is due to them being the descendants of the Aztecs themselves. Now I'll be going over what happened to them during the Spanish invasion. When it came to the Spanish invasion in the 16th century, it took a whole century to finally get the Yaquis to end their resistance. The Yaqui would later be put under the influence of the church-centered communities, which would be a main factor of why many of them today are devout Catholics. However, they would go against the Mexican army in 1887 as they were getting their tribal land taken away from them due to its fertility, and they saw that as a very, abundant resource. However, they did not last long. Due to their defeat, they were deported, and those left were casualties of war, and others migrated to other parts of Mexico. Now I'll be going over the Yaquis' descendants today. In 1930, the Mexican government gave the Yaqui their tribal land back. As of today, there is 25,000 Yaqui population. While many still live in Sonora, there are also thousands living in Arizona. But there are still problems from the Yaquis, as the Mexican government has irrigation projects taking water from the Yaqui River that the Yaquis use for their livelihood in production of wheat, cotton, and vegetable oils, and even just like their drinking water in general. I believe a lot of this has to do with in America, where the government doesn't really like, they say that they won't do anything to this land. However, when they see that there's something useful in that area, then they start to actually disregard the agreements they originally had, which really reminds me of what happened in a class when we would talk about like how they would take their lands, and then once they found out that the areas that they're now are in have better resources, it's kind of like, it's really messed up and it should really be taken care of. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and I'll see you all later. Bye.